August 15th, 2023, current events, primarily Maui.
Of course, we'll talk a lot about Maui,
Who
how
you
you
can
guys can
support.
continue to support some people that are very special to us that we would love if you have the ability to support.
We got into homeowner exemption forms, some dates around that, why it's important. Talk about back to school, some Hawaii culture stuff. The Maui fires are just 1 week out. And although we did our telethon, we raised funds, it's too fresh. The wound is not even scabbed yet. So we have to talk about that. First, from a real estate standpoint, there's some people on Instagram and they're, sharing their outrage that investors are calling them. It's like, oh, you freaking realtors. Well, for one, I'll tell you, most realtors ain't working that hard to, go cold calling. It's even under normal circumstances, not that many agents are on the phones. I primarily don't think it's realtors, but if it is a realtor, ask them for their name, ask them for their brokerage. If you start to ask for their license, they're going to get freaked out. File your loss of use claim with your insurance so you get thousands fast. On my other podcast, we brought on my brother-in-law, Nick Mito, and he works in insurance, and he said just about everyone should have a loss of use part to their insurance. And so when you can no longer use the thing, which is your house, they'll send anywhere from like a couple thousand up to like 10,000. And since you don't have an address, they'll send it to your agent and you get it fast, like within days. So everyone should file their loss of use claim immediately to float you for the coming, amount of time. Don't sign anything. In order to do real estate business, you have to sign. Investors, get them to sign the contract that locks them into selling the home to me, or are reassignable. So there's a thing called wholesaling. There's wholetailing. There's all these creative things. They get you to sign a document. And this is wherever you are in America. And if you agree to, 500,000, but they're like, oh, I could probably get 550 for this thing. And still some meat on the bone. Rather than do all the work, flip the house, assign that contract, sell it for 50,000, and then the next person go to purchase. So don't sign anything.
I think anybody is susceptible to being highly emotional and like overwhelmed right now.
That's true. But I guess I'm most concerned about our older population, right?
Who can't hear it properly, who are overwhelmed, who don't know. Like
what is this, the insurance?
Yeah, maybe they think I need to sign this to get my insurance claim. There's so many opportunities for sharky, opportunistic people to take advantage of a situation where people are very overwhelmed. You
predatory asshole. You're not taking this lady's house. You're not taking this uncle's house. File your loss of use claim, get your money, and don't sign. And if you accidentally think you might have signed something, contact us or get other help. A guy called yesterday. I'm not going to say his full name because maybe he doesn't want it, but Don. Much aloha to you, Don. Thank you for calling last night. He basically said, I want to adopt a family. The funds and the nonprofits are great. However, I want to feel it. I want to donate directly to a family. I can send money today, and I'm committed for the next several months. Now, whatever is in your heart to do that thing. We have some people who are affected, who are close to us, that we will tell you about. And we're going to put their information in the description so you could donate to these, either GoFundMe or Venmo directly. These are families you can trust. They're vetted out by us, right? Like these are local families who will feel your support. The nature of local people, right, and our culture is like we don't want to ask for help. We want to help.
Yeah.
Mahe has this dear friend who I met and only met shortly, whose family lost everything.
They don't live in Lahaina anymore, but still very, like her husband is a first responder in Lahaina. He worked all the way through the night, through, the whole thing. And then her entire family still lives, or they all live in Lahaina, and they all, lost everything. They all had to, run for their lives, and barely made it out alive. And because of the type of people they're like just, we have everything we need.
Yeah.
Because they're alive.
You're saying she's the only one who could spank your kids.
Yeah, I was like, if you lick my kids, that's fine. She's like the only, she's like their, I've said it many times before, like that's like their second mom, she's the only person who could yell at my kids. And I'm like, what did you do?
So they'll go to Maui, your kids will go to Maui and they stay with her as much as they stay with their dad. She's not like, give me. She's like, no. Here.
That's just how she is. And that's how her family is. And now they're all, together, and she's got them all together under her roof. And
What, 20 people?
I don't know if that is, I think
15.
Yeah. It's parents.
Which is a
siblings,
first world
family.
problem at this point, right? You're alive, 15 people, but they didn't even want to accept funds, right? So that's family number one. Family number two, one of your best friends hasn't even contacted you yet because she's just working.
They're also another one, her whole family in her house. And I haven't heard back from her. But point being, I want to be able to support her when they need it. They're just, maybe they're just not ready to ask, or they're just not ready to talk because they're grieving and suffering losses that, people can't even imagine. But
there is a loss in this circumstance. And then for me, I have a person who is a Coast Guard friend of mine. He won't mind me using his name. His name is Matt. His brother and wife, they had their shop in Lahaina. And so now, and that was their means of, income, and that's gone. They're going to be okay. But I just want to send the Vincent family some love. And so we'll put their link there as well. My friend who does environmental response and is over there, he said, bro, they're going to have to remove 800,000 cubic yards of topsoil. I was like, how many bulk ships is that? Because we were in the Coast Guard. That's the thing. He's like, inconceivable amount of removal. So because the soil is so toxic that there's asbestos all over the place. They're bringing in these asbestos meters that can point at stuff and read asbestos. How they even do that, I don't know. So there's probably people who are like, yeah, like, we got lumber, auntie, I know how to build. We'll rebuild your house tomorrow. But you literally can't. Like, it's toxic. It's going to take years and years of support. Our content is evergreen, which is why we're letting this topic dominate this video. These families, these particular families we're mentioning, are going to need support forever. I saw a stat today, 25% has been searched of the area. And the death count is at 99 the last time I checked. End of September, if you bought a house this year, there's a homeowner exemption form that'll lower your taxes, your tax basis up to $1 million of assessed value. That's due. Or as Mahe pointed out, which I wasn't even thinking, if you moved out of your place, you're supposed to update them. This should have already been filled out, and you're probably good. If you're in doubt, you're one of our past clients, you're in doubt, hey, we fill out that form, contact us.
It's very easy to do online.
Yeah.
It takes 5 minutes.
So we'll put the link in the description. You don't get dinged if you do it a second time when in doubt. So save some money on some property taxes. On a lighter note, it's back to school time.
It is back to school time.
And in Hawaii, I've lived multiple places. The back to school energy is different here.
Is it?
I think so many people in Hawaii drop their kids off and or have district exemptions and or go private school in town or something.
Yeah.
And plenty grandmas and stuff wanting to help. I heard at one point we have the most kids per like capita or something. Like, we're very, nuclear family kind of place.
Yeah.
The back to school energy here, I don't know, it's different. And we always say it on the channel, like the way we are with our keiki. Like, it's just like,
we definitely have less buses. As I can attest with the bus scheduling happening with my kids.
In Hawaii, it really affects traffic.
Yes.
And you know what? People always say, oh, yeah, UH, that's why. And I've always wondered, is there any data to support that?
I don't think so.
Or is that like a...
These kids live they either dorm on campus or they live on university or something. It's not the UH kids.
And and
it's not the 20 billion other schools on camp or on the island. It's UH.
But you hear that as a local person.
Like,
you hear that too. Yeah? Oh yeah, UH. That's like Kona winds. Mercury in retrograde.
You're like,
right?
no, it's not.
They're like, yeah, because UH, that's why. But my Hawaii people comment, is it UH? Or is it like all the private schools and elementaries? And where I live, they don't even have school bus.
Everybody has somebody who drives them. Everybody has a little
Everyone has accommodations.
chauffeur. Yeah.
I wish I could put them on at 7 a.m. and go about my day.
Or 5:30 a.m. if you're me.
For mainland people, of course, listen up. But even local people, we've told them like, hey, you're going to buy an Eva. It's June. Whatever. Even if you go test the traffic right now, it's going to get worse. So just be aware of that. And that's the thing. I would say traffic increases by
a lot.
20-30%.
At least.
It went between summer and school year.
Like the end of August, beginning of September, it's like a noticeable difference in traffic. And they're like, oh, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. And then like the other half of the schools will go back to school, and you're like, oh yeah, that's what this is like. Yeah.
So even if you're on the mainland, tell me, is it like that where you live too? Like back to school is this huge thing, and traffic changes and everything changes. I know here traffic changes in a way that it didn't do that in California and the Bay Area. In Florida, it wasn't like that. It wasn't as big of a difference. Anyways, I'm glad we were able to end on a little bit of a lighter note. Maui, we stand with you. Lahaina strong. We'll put some links to some families to support. The specific ones that are our direct connections, you don't have to vet those out. We vetted that. That's our family. If we end up putting a bigger link to many more, we can attest to those. Say do your own due diligence, but we just appreciate you guys. Again, shout outs to Don. Don called us last night and said, I want to send money right now, and I want to commit for the next 12 months to adopt a family. We're so happy that we're able to flex our media muscle and have some positive effect on Maui. So Maui strong.